We are back on Get Up, and I'm going to do something now that is called Foxy's 5, and I want to take you behind the scenes. Yesterday, Dominique Foxworth committed probably the greatest sin you can. He told the Get Up team, I don't need any more named segments. We love a name-based pun. And he complained that we have too many of them with relation to him. And so, as retribution for that, our producer Ash Colley today and the team decided we're going to do 5 separate Dominique Foxworth name-based puns to do 5 different questions. So the first one is, what does D Fox say?
Oh gosh!
And if this one is Jerry Jones and Cooper Kupp, go.
I would say that Cooper Kupp is going to go elsewhere. Cooper Kupp's a free agent right now. Jerry Jones could use a receiver, and it would be a perfect fit down there to go opposite CeeDee Lamb and support Dak Prescott. I would love Cooper Kupp to go to the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys would probably love Cooper Kupp to go to the Cowboys. But what you don't understand is it's free agency. And Jerry ain't going to pay nobody no money in free agency. He's going to go draft them and then overpay them late when they become free agents of his own.
So, Dan Graziano, to be clear, I should not be expecting at any moment here for you to turn to me and say, Greeny, I have breaking news. The Dallas Cowboys have signed Cooper Kupp.
It's possible, but I do think that the price would have to be pretty low. And if he's getting interest from a number of different teams, the price tends to go up.
I mean, here's the one thing. The one thing that sometimes people like me do, because I don't have a stopwatch and all that kind of stuff, is I tend to overvalue an aging player, particularly one who has an injury history. Is Cooper Kupp going to make a big difference for someone this year, J-Man?
I think he is, and I think it has to do with what Cooper Kupp brings on the field, but also off of it. This guy is a leader. He understands defenses as well as he understands offenses. So you look at some of these teams, you look at a New England Patriots, a Seattle Seahawks, teams that absolutely need help at the wide receiver position, you're willing to overpay for a guy like Cooper Kupp, because if you draft a young guy or you bring guys up like New England has, they drafted 2 receivers last year, adding a Cooper Kupp helps bring those guys along too, and that adds value for him.
Context is everything, Greeny. If he goes to Dallas, all the coverages are going to roll to CeeDee Lamb, the best corner. So to me, is Cooper Kupp still better than the opposing team's second or best third corner? Absolutely.
Okay, so that was what does D Fox say? Again, got bored. Just because we're mad at him, we're doing another name-based pun, and this one is our unique perspective. Give us something that not everyone else is saying.
The Cincinnati Bengals will once again miss the playoffs this season. I think that we expect them to be incredible offensively once again. Their big issue is on their defense, and their best defensive player is still not signed to their team. They still haven't extended either of those major receivers, and the quarterback is currently not happy. They haven't addressed any of their major issues in a meaningful way so far. So I don't know why we are expecting them to somehow be better this year than last year. We're just expecting the offense to completely carry them, which is not something that you can rely on.
And the reality is that even if they signed T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and Trey Hendrickson, they didn't get better. They just got more expensive. That said, should we be expecting Trey Hendrickson to get traded?
I mean, it's certainly possible, but so far the Bengals' asking price has been higher than teams have wanted to pay. So if that comes down, then yeah, maybe, because you're talking about giving a first-round pick and more, and then bringing in a guy who wants a $30 million a year contract. That's a lot. I mean, teams aren't really eager to do that. So it's possible the demands drop. It's possible somebody gets desperate enough to do it, but he's 30 years old. Like, I don't get the sense that people want to give away their first-round pick.
Yeah, look, if it's $30 million, that's a bargain compared to Myles Garrett at 40. Now, look, Myles Garrett's a better player, but this is a guy that has 35 sacks in the last 2 years, and although he's 30, he didn't play a lot early in his career with New Orleans, so I think there's a lot of tread left on the tire. And Meek, you mentioned something interesting about him not being under contract. He actually is. I just think he's disgruntled. Right. So now you have to figure out how to solve that if I'm Cincinnati, which is obviously a massive problem.
And the crazy thing, you said not make the playoffs, and we're talking about even if they pay Jamar Chase, they get a contract with T. Higgins, they bring Henderson back on a new deal, we're looking at a team that is exactly the same. So could you look at the Bengals front office and say, you know what, we're not going to pay all of these guys, because if we're going to be the same and not make the playoffs, why shove out all of this money to our star players and we still can't get over that hump?
Earlier in the show, when we were lauding Howie Roseman, I made the point that I think most teams are smart and most teams have a plan. I said most.
Right.
I said most for a reason.
Right.
Because these aren't surprises, Greeny. Like the fact that you have it, and sometimes, of course, there's a surprise here or there, but none of these players wanting more money or wanting their situation sorted out is a surprise. None of the players having to leave in the past was a surprise. Finding adequate replacements for Bates and guys like that, suitable corners, like that's something that you have to do routinely, and they haven't been able to do it.
And I just want to make clear, I will preface what I'm about to say by saying that Joe Burrow, to my knowledge, has not said this to anyone, and if he did, he wouldn't say it to me. I don't know Joe Burrow at all. But there will come a time, I believe, where this will stop being okay with him. I thought he sort of started walking down that path at the Super Bowl this year. You mentioned the word disgruntled. We have not seen a lot of gruntled Bengals over the years. He's sort of, they gave him the money. At some point, I think this is going to become a problem.
Greeny, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. My wife reminds me of that every day. But,
Tone and delivery.
Yeah, but when he went into the detail about cash flow, cap numbers, like, I'm not saying it's Carson Palmer, but gosh, I don't think we're far away. In 2011, Carson Palmer said, I'm retiring and I'm not playing for Cincinnati anymore. So I agree. If these issues aren't resolved, they better be careful because Joe Burrow, without him, like, we're starting
And
over.
he knows it. And he's looking around. And we're comparing him to the Patrick Mahomes, the Lamar Jackson, the Josh Allen. He needs his guys.
Let's continue Neek's penance. So once again, he didn't want any more named segments. We've done 2. Now just because we're mad at you, we're making up a whole new one. This is called Fox Worth It
Oh my
or
gosh.
Not.
They're working hard in there.
Man.
So Myles Garrett taking the money over the winning. Is that
I already
Fox
know your
worth it?
I
or
already
not?
know your answer.
It's absolutely worth it. What the hell wrong with y'all? I mean, I'm a little disappointed in Myles Garrett, mostly because I'm disappointed in myself, because I believed him. When he was out there, I was like, yeah, you're right, Myles, you deserve to play for a winner. You made enough money, and your Hall of Fame career is not going to involve you making a deep run in playoffs. Damn right. And the fans in Cleveland were even behind him. And then it didn't even take long. Like, we didn't even get to training camp. And they were like, hey,
OTAs.
how about this? He was like, yeah, I can rush that. Yeah, you got me.
I didn't know that was going to be there.
I don't blame him, but yeah, it just
So do
upset me.
we, at the end of the day, think this was really all about money all along? Because I agree with you. He came on with us on the Sunday of the Super Bowl, and I was like, oh, this guy's gone.
The proof is in the pudding, right? I mean, like, that's the thing. Your words don't.
Or did he run into a brick wall? I mean, did he come to believe, no, we will
The
not
brick
trade
wall
you?
is down the road. Yeah. The brick wall that he would have to run into would be sitting out games.
Right.
That ain't till September.
Yeah, down the road,
Yeah, he
yeah.
saw that brick wall in the distance, and there was a big pool of money between him and that brick wall, and he dove in it.
That's
and
it.
I can't blame him.
It is the ultimate proof that anytime anyone says it's not about the money, it's about the money. Final word.
I was stunned that we didn't have that extension in September when they're like, oh my gosh, he's going to miss games. Like, the stunning part to me was the timing.
He looked at Joe Thomas' career. He said, Joe T's doing all right.
I think the stunning part was the money.
And maybe, in fairness to him, he realized that him doing it then gave them a better chance of one of these quarterbacks wanting to sign with them, or whatever the case may be. Not that
It might. I don't know.
You never know. Okay, our next one is